Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dreamboat Sketches, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you the some origin stories or variants of the Cinderella story. I am sure we are all familiar with the story of Cinderella, but for those of us who aren't, Cinderella is a story about a girl who lost her mom. Her father was very rich and he remarried. Cinderella's stepmother was wicked to Cinderella, and her stepsisters were also cruel to her. They basically turned her into their maid, and of course, this made Cinderella unhappy. One day, the prince threw a ball to look for a wife, and long story short, Cinderella ended up being the prince's wife, despite the plans and efforts of her stepmother and siblings to prevent that. Now we are all familiar with the story. I'm going to give you the variants of the story. All the stories that going to say today are gotten from Google, and I'm not going to be doing the Grimm Brothers version because I've covered that version. But without further ado, let's get into some other variants of the Cinderella story. For the first variant of the Cinderella story is the story of Yeshan. I'll write that on the screen because I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. And it is gotten from ancient China. And it goes like this. Yeshan is the daughter of the tribe's leader who died when she was young. Her mother died before her father, and this meant that she was under the care of her father's second wife, aka her stepmother. And she was abused by her stepmother. After some time, Yeshan becomes friends with a fish who happens to be the reincarnation of her dead mother. Kind of reminds me of the fairy godmother that came to help Cinderella in the popular version. But moving on. So her stepmother and stepsister's sister singular, her stepmother and her stepsister killed the fish. Honestly speaking, I have no idea why they would do this. At least in the popular version of Cinderella, her stepmom and siblings still allowed her to keep the mice and birds as friends. But moving on. Yeshan finds the magical bones of the fish because, magic. And they help her to dress well for a festival. And in this magnificent, dress that she was wearing, she had a very light golden shoe. When she goes to the festival, her stepmom and her stepsisters recognized her, and this made her to run away, and she accidentally lost the shoe. After some time, a king from overseas finds the shoe and is intrigued because no one's feet could fit inside. So the king searches everywhere and finally reaches Yeshan's house. She tries on the shoes, and the king realizes that she is the owner of the shoe and takes her back to the kingdom. At the end, her step family were killed by flying rocks. Excuse me, what? Flying rocks? I have from where? I don't. The math is not mathing, but the story is very very interesting to say the least. How her step family was killed is still just I'm still shocked. Flying rocks from where? This story is certainly an interesting one, and I could tell from the popular version of Cinderella, her siblings and her stepmom couldn't recognize her at the ball, if I'm remembering the movie correctly, the Disney movie correctly, if I'm remembering it well. Yeah, they couldn't recognize her, but in this one it's more realistic because they actually recognized her. Let's talk more about the drawing process. It was really fun googling, ancient China kind of things. I just pieced together different pieces from, China history, over time. And if you saw the footage of me sketching the first drawing I did, you could see two other drawings beside it, but I didn't end up going with the footage for that because I just didn't like the stories. They weren't as relevant to the Cinderella story as this ones are. So yeah. I'm going to leave you to enjoy the rest of this footage, and please like and comment down below if you'd love to see more content like this, and yeah, enjoy for now. So I switched phones, so yeah. But I am this is my mom's phone I'm using to record because my phone is dead, so in case it looks different, that's why. But As you can probably like tell, I'm just going to be saying this as I am working on the hair a bit more because you can see I started on that. But you can probably tell that the koi fish looks very, very different and hopefully for the best. I woke up this morning, I looked at the koi fish and I was like, Narcissus. Also, in the footage, you can see I botched up her eyes, but I just fixed a lot of the tiny, tiny details off camera. So, yeah, that's what I did basically. So, now I'm working on the hair and adding some extra last minute details to the hair because yeah. I'm going to this is Yeshan. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that well. If not, like I'll literally cry. Like I have to pronounce that well, right? I literally like tried to Google how to pronounce it and I kid you not, I couldn't find like how to pronounce it on YouTube. Like what I said YouTube, Google. And what I did was like I went to Google Translate. I'm going to make her hair messy a little bit because yeah, just add a little modern twist to this old princess. Anyway, yeah, I typed it into Google Translate like instead of like the ye, they just like they put it as ye shan. So I, that's why I'm pronouncing it as Yeshan. I'm done with this. I don't know if I like this drawing all that much. I just need to like add a few details and I'm trying to make her not look too put together because she's not. I don't think she is. But here is the final piece. These are her golden shoes that you probably heard about already. Now it's on to the next piece of Rodolphus and let's get into this. Voice over me, take control. Now, another variant of the Cinderella story that I'm going to be looking at today is a story that can be dated back to the ancient Greek story of Rodolphus or Rhodopis. I think it's Rodolphus. Okay, there's no H. That's a mistake on my part. There is no H, so it's Rhodopis, and just ignore that H because you're going to see it even at the end of this footage. But yeah, so let's get into this. Rodolphus can be translated into rosy cheeks, and it is the story about um a Greek courtesan. I'll put it on the screen in case I'm not pronouncing it well. That was living in Egypt. Now, because of this, you could see it play into like the dressing I gave her. I put like some Greek and ancient Egypt stuff together. But story is about Rhodopis was basically baiting, and an eagle came down and snatched a sandal from her maid. The eagle carried it to Memphis while the king was administering justice in the open air. The eagle came and dropped the sandal in the king's lap, and the king was so intrigued by the lovely shape of the sandal and how it had gotten to him that he sent his men to look for her all over the country. And when she was found, she was taken back to Memphis, and the king married her. Well, this story is not as long or as bulky as the last one, but it is still certainly interesting, and we have to give it that. I mean, like, imagine if it was that easy to find a man. Like, all you need to do is get your sandals snatched from, like, all you need to do basically in the ancient times was to like misplace your shoe and bada bing bada boom, you get married to a prince. Like, that's so easy. Like, I could misplace my shoes, my socks, anything, and I'll be married to a prince. I'll be filthy rich. And yeah. But I don't paint animals very often, but I'm really proud of how like the animals came out. I refer the koi fish to this thing that's supposed to be an eagle, but for someone who doesn't draw much animals, I did well. I can pat myself on the back for that. But in her dressing, I tried to incorporate both the Greek and the ancient Egypt, styles into her like dressing. I hope that comes across well. Um, I I really really do like. I actually prefer this drawing to like the one about Yeshan, but I prefer Yeshan's story to this story. Very very yeah. But I really hope you guys enjoyed the whole like format of this video, and hopefully it is nice and you guys would consider subscribing and liking and commenting to my comment down below. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. And here is a final overview of the drawings, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much, and I love you guys so much. Thank you, and bye bye.